And this is a special session for the EB&D committee. So, Mr. Cross.
Okay, I'll turn it over to Pat and I think Sonia too.
Vice President, EBT?
Yes. And some,
EB&D? Mr. Ross, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We'd like to proceed forward. You know, we've spent most of the morning listening to attorneys, and we just feel as tribal council that we need to proceed forward in making a new agreement. So we're going to make a motion to move forward on the agreement at this time with Mr. Canis' offering with AT&T. So I guess that also means that we're going to also make a motion afterwards to withdraw our complaints from federal and tribal court as well, so we can proceed moving forward. But that's kind of the discussion we're at. So I'll make the first motion, Mr. Chair, to move forward with the agreement. So.
Recognize your motion, second by Mr. Cross. Tribal Council understand the motion. Secretaries can call for your vote.
Floyd Brings plenty.
How?
Don Firethunder.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Marilyn Charging Crow.
Huh.
Jackie Sears. Ron Duke. Oh, he's excused. Excused. Okay.
Ron's not feeling well, Tribal Council.
Sonia Lilhawk Weston. Collins Clifford.
yeah.
Chauncey Wilson.
How?
David Puyer is temporarily excused, right?
Excused.
Okay. Patrick Ross.
How?
Mike Many Horses. He's excused too, right? Alan Fields the Pipe. Here. Austin Watkins. Blaine Lil Thunder.
Oh.
James Cross.
Yes.
Robin Tapio. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Two councilmen were excused. That puts our quorum at 16. Tribal Council got a vote of, how come we only got 14 voting? Oh, that's right. We got 13 yes, 2 noes, 1 not voting. Motion does carry. Thank you very much. Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Tribal Council. Second motion is to direct Jay Schultz, as from the Tribal Council, to withdraw our complaints in tribal and federal court with that regarding the Utilities Commission issues. With that, I so move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Recognize your motion. Seconded by Ms. Tapia. Secretary, call for your vote.
Floyd Brings plenty.
How?
Don Firethunder.
Yes.
Ella John Carlo.
Yes.
Marilyn Charging Crow. Jackie Sears. Sonia Lilhawk Weston. Collins Clifford.
Yeah.
Chauncey Wilson.
How?
Patrick Ross.
Yes.
Mike Many Horses. Alan Fields the Pipe. Here. Austin Watkins.
How?
Blaine Lil Thunder.
Oh.
James Cross.
Yes.
Robin Tapio. Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Tribal Council got a vote of 13 yes, 2 noes, 1 not voting. Motion does carry. Thank you very much. Mr. Ross.
Thank you, Tribal Council. Lastly, Chairman, we'd like to address the issue of Mr. Schultz's payment, and I think that needs to be further discussed. So I don't know if we want to do that now at this time for the record or what. So that's where we're at right now. So.
On behalf of the Utilities Commission.
Yes, Mr. Ross, I accept your motion. Do I have a second? Or is it just for discussion right now? Discussion right now, Tribal Council. What has happened here is Tribal Council chartered the Utilities Commission. They hired Mr. Jay Schultz, my good friend, to represent them in these lawsuits. And we lost 3 lawsuits by a previous attorney who just did not attend the hearing, and by default, we lost them. Well, not us, the Utilities Commission. And we don't expect to lose any more by default, but you have taken care of the issue right now. And I say that that woman in Oglala made 31 calls, no service. And we've got sporadic service. We cannot talk to AT&T about that wireless service. And so we need this contract for service that Mr. Canis has, that he negotiated with AT&T. When he came to me, he did not like the service contract they presented, right, Mr. Canis? Could you please come up, Mr. Canis?
Yes, sir.
And he, at no cost to the tribe, because he's working with us on the Intertribal Energy Authority, and he's worked 10 years for FCC, and he knows just about everybody in the business. He and Mr. Schultz are good friends, along with Jean DeJordy's our good friend. And so, Mr. Canis, if you could, explain a little bit, maybe on the item presented to Tribal Council now for approval, which is the service agreement with AT&T that you negotiated for us.
Thank you, Mr. President. Sorry, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen of the council. We've over the past 6 months.
Oh, we're on Jay Schultz there, aren't we? I'm into the service contract. Jay,
Yes,
front and center, please.
yes.
I'm sorry, John.
No, not at all.
Now, what's happened here is the tribe doesn't have a contract with Jay. But he represented a tribal entity who I don't know how their charter is running right now without monies. We do get monies from selling of the WAPA agreements to certain entities. But Mr. Schultz here would like some pay. He operated in good faith. And a little bit of history is Mr. Schultz here was the main person, but his dad, my good friend, Donald Schultz, represented us in the turnkey casino agreement. They kept our sovereignty 100% in that case. They won for us. I don't know how much their fee was, but $2.8 million worth of business. Everything that was purchased for the operation of the casinos, when they won the lawsuit, were ours. Turkey Company just lost out because they had 11 contract violations. And we won it in federal court, appeals court in Minneapolis, and Jay did that for us. But we actually got all the stools, everything that was in those trailer houses. He won for us. We didn't have to pay for it. But Mr. Schultz now acted in good faith on several lawsuits. And so he should be paid. And so we come to you, Tribal Council, to authorize payment for those contracts that he had with the Utilities Commission, that he spent his own money on, own time on, and mostly a lot of reimbursement, but some of his pay. Mr. Schultz, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. My service to the tribe goes back to October of 2014. And that again was when AT&T initiated suit, federal court in Rapid City, brought suit against not only the tribal commission, the tribal court, and so did Sprint, another federal court action. And at that point, the legal team was Lisa Adams, it was John Canis, myself, Gene DeJordy was serving as general counsel for the Utilities Commission. Basically, the four of us that worked together, we're the ones who crafted the motion to dismiss in federal court. We crafted together, all four of us, the tribal court complaint and the amended complaint filed in December and January of 2015. So my service, and I've been the lone counsel of record, if you will, representing the tribe, the tribal court, the tribal utility commission. You know, they even named the individual commissioners. They named the chief judge, who at the time was Mary Wynn, for the tribal court, in the complaint filed in federal court. So I've been the lone counsel of record, if you will, but we all worked as a team dating back to early October of 2014 and going forward. So I've itemized, I've got detailed time sheets, records that have been furnished to the tribe, the treasurer's office, as well as the president's office. And I haven't collected anything at this point, but I haven't charged interest either on the unpaid balance. So anyway, I did present a while back a proposed retention agreement, which is standard in its language. Jane Long has had that. It's been circulated through the EBD committee as well as finance, and I think it's prime for consideration by the council at this special meeting, and I would appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Mr. Brinkman, Mr. Schultz went through the finance committee with this, right?
Yes, it did.
And EB&D committee, Mr. Schultz went through the EB&D committee with this, right? Okay, but what do we need at this time? Steve?
Mitä kiitos iskemaan tjänkaapin on papalo magala tachawa gusna mitjaka. I'm looking at my packet I got this morning. There's minutes in there. They're not signed, but I'm fairly sure that they're accurate. They're the E&BD minutes from March 15th, 2010. And I'm looking at page 2 of 2 of that date. It says, also have Joe select an attorney that could do this case as a priority. Motion by Craig Dillon, seconded by Lydia Bearkiller to have Joe Red Cloud as the contact person for this issue between the Oglala Sioux tribe and Alltel/Verizon, and to authorize Joe to determine/select the right attorney for this case. 6-4, 0 against, 0 not voting, motion carried. And again, the minutes that I have are not executed, but I'm willing to believe that there are executed minutes in the secretary's office.
Mr. Ross?
If you read the next one's back, it also states that,
If you read further back, the next one states that when they brought the attorney forward, they were supposed to agree upon it, and there was supposed to be no litigation without
Oh, and they didn't do
approval.
that?
And I don't believe that portion ever came back, so.
Sorry, didn't know, but I was just the question was whether this was in the committee.
Ms. Tapia?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You know, First of all, I cannot believe that Jay, Mr. Schultz, you know, I want to thank you for your services, but I just cannot believe that you went into something like this without a contract, you know, without something in black and white. You being an attorney, being in a professional capacity. You know, this good faith thing, we have to get away from that, this governing body, you know. To me, it sounds like the tribe should not have to pay Jay, rather the charter or the Utilities Commission should be liable, not us. So that's just what I want to say, you know. I don't see a document in front of me, contract or anything for services, so I can't support this. Thank you.
Yes, I think he did present to the finance committee, as he presented to me, a itemized list of his expenses on the services rendered.
Actual contract?
No, no contract. Ms. Weston, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I guess my question to Jay is, you said that you had started your services October 2014. Now, I'm just kind of looking back at the beginning of our administration here, where the last administration was just going out October 2014. So it sounds like you was working with this legal team, you call it, with all the 4 people you mentioned. And so to me, it kind of sounds like it was an ongoing services that apparently that, was you continuing to follow that from that October 2014?
Right.
Was you, because I'm just trying to, because this administration, it sounds like the finance committee is stating that you did go through finance committee. Is that what you were saying, Mr. Booth?
After the fact.
Was it after?
It was after the fact that... It was after the fact that it came to the finance committee, and we told him, finance committee told him that whoever initiated this, he needed to go back and develop a contract or some kind of an agreement with them, and then we'll proceed with paying him. So that's what happened when it came to finance.
Mr. Clifford.
Chairman Steele, Council, I would like to see the young man paid on the basis that it was a gentleman call and he did represent us. And with that following, we just do away with that particular commission, period. And then we'll pretty much start over because we just made motions to withdraw everything now. So we'll do away with that commission because they acted irresponsibly the way I'm seeing it. But I would like to see him paid off because he was a gentleman about representing us, and he did come forward to report that we lost on a default because the representation that we had there, another attorney didn't show face at court. So with that, I'm in favor of paying him based on the figures that he put forth on that paper that was submitted to our finance committee. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion.
Mr. Ross. Motion by Mr. Clifford to pay him on the figures put forth on that one to the finance committee. Ms. Sears, please.
Yeah, my only concern is, you know, we're going to go ahead and do that, or, you know, pay him, but what's going to prevent this from the next time? Because somebody's making obligations for this tribe without going through the proper procedures. So we also make a motion or something to that effect to prohibit this, putting people, you know, putting the tribe in debt without their knowledge. So,
Mr. Clifford, would that be part of your motion?
Yes, it would.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Seconded by Mr. Watkins. Secretary can call for your vote.
What's the amount?
Mr. Schultz.
Yeah. And change. The invoices that I presented back December 1st, it was for my time through December 1st. I do have additional time and resources into the case, the different matters from December 1 to the present. In fact, I just got a notice on Friday that the oral argument in the Sprint case before which is on appeal, that's the one currently pending before the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit in St. Paul, they've scheduled oral argument for June 15th. 1 month from today. So the case is up, all the briefs have been submitted, the case is set for oral argument before a 3-judge panel in St. Paul on June 15th.
You still arguing that case we decided already? Are you talking about your pay?
Well,
that's what
but anyway, on that appeal, I have additional time entries from and after December 1 through to the present.
So he's got some additions to that final figure he gave us.
That's right.
Mr. Cross.
So after this vote's taken, are we gonna continue to use Jay, or with the contract, or what's?
That's gonna be up to EB&D to come with us on whatever you need him. That's to be a whole new issue. I got a motion and a second on the amount submitted to Finance Committee.
Right, that amount submitted to Finance Committee.
What is the amount?
What was the amount? That was a question to you, sir. Do you remember that amount submitted to
I've
Finance?
got some paperwork, yeah. Let me dig that out.
I don't think they got the monies.
Mr. President, I'm looking at my letter dated December 1 with the attached invoices. And the grand total, look. I believe it's 52,700 some. I don't have that exact figure, but.
No, what is the business?
Mr. President, I've also got, I would also ask here is the agreement that was submitted.
Agreement with who?
That's,
Utilities Commission?
this is the retention agreement that I've submitted to the Finance Committee.
I think the treasurer might want that.
I can pass these out.
We're trying to get some business done here, but Jay is,
President Still, as I recall, whenever Jay Schultz came and presented his bill to us, that we were informed that he didn't show up to a couple of crucial court cases representing the tribe.
If we're talking about the default judgments, I think that's been addressed, and that was an internal matter where that wasn't my doing. I've not missed any crucial hearings.
Mr. Pinkfletty.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a suggestion. If Mr. Schultz has an amount, a final amount that he wants to present now, we can act on it. If he doesn't have it together, then I make a motion to table his situation here. Well, we need a final amount. We're trying to pay him.
He said 52,700.
It's getting kind of muddied up again. We don't know what's what. When this was brought to the Finance Committee, it was a retroactive deal. And so I didn't acknowledge it. But if you're willing to come up with a figure and we're willing to work to pay you, we need to have some very specific stuff so we can wrap this up and move on, and we won't have to deal with it. I know you've been following the meeting for about 3 months. So it's all on your shoulders right now, what you want to do.
My preference would be to ask the council to act today on the invoices attached to my December 1 correspondence, which, again, I don't have that total, but I think it's 52,700.
We're going to use that figure.
And then I'll submit the additional invoices for later consideration by the council.
That would be in total after, only up to the date of the finance.
Right, right, that's your motion. I got a motion second on the floor. Secretaries and call for your vote.
Floyd Brings Plenty.
How?
Don Fire Thunder.
No.
Ella Giancarlo.
Yes.
Marilyn Charging Crow.
Here.
Jackie Sears.
Here.
Sonia Little Hawk Weston.
Ha.
Collins Clifford.
How?
Chauncey Wilson.
Here.
David Poyer. Yes. Patrick Ross.
No.
Ellen Fills the Pipe.
Ha.
Austin Watkins.
How?
Blaine Little Thunder.
Yeah.
James Cross.
Yes.
Robin Tapio.
Here.
Craig Dillon.
Yes.
Tribal Council, we got a vote of 9 yes, 7 no's. Motion did carry. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Cross and Mr. Ross, the AT&T service agreement. I want some work done on those towers. Those cell towers. And we need this service agreement in place. I've called you up before and then I sat you down again, John. Thanks for coming all this way, sir, because he's not charging us. He's doing this free of charge. What we have is Mr. Poyer back here, and we have Mr. Mike Hermini, who was excused. Now Mr. Dillon's got an appointment that he has to go to, so he's excused. That leaves our quorum at 17. Oh, no. 15. Thank you. 1-5. And Mr. Candace, I'm sorry again.
Not at all. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the council, I know a number of you are familiar with the terms of the AT&T agreement because we've presented to the Economic and Business Development Committee on several occasions. And in fact, our presentation, our proposal to AT&T was approved by vote of the, I believe it was unanimous vote of the E and BDC before it was presented to AT&T, and AT&T accepted all of it with one exception, which we'll talk about. So I know you've all been very patient. We spent a lot of time talking about this. I'll give you the high-level version of this agreement, but at any time, please let me know if it's something, if there's a point we should discuss a little bit more, or if you'd like to hear more about. Oh, thank you. Ms. Long just advised me that this falls under our non-disclosure agreement with AT&T. May I ask the President to invoke executive session?
Our service agreement, which we need tribal council to service those towers, is under the non-disclosure agreement that we agreed to. So we're going to have to go into executive session on the service agreement. And Mr. Cross, at the beginning you make mention of the Utility Commission also you wanted to discuss. Thank you. But service agreement, executive session.